What's going on, you guys? It's time for a tasting for Tasty Thursday. Okay, I haven't sang my jingle in a minute. It's been kind of crazy, you guys. As you know, I am just now getting back from Kentucky. There's a lot of, actually, give me a second, because this is not, it wasn't being kind to me. But you know, I've been away. I ended up going to Sonoma for the barrel auction where we sold our lot. And I'm going to tell you guys about that in today's tasting today if you're interested. Hold up. Motion detected at the front door. I'm sorry. I'm like kind of opening this one a little janky. So sorry about that. But beyond that, after Sonoma, I did end up flying out. I was only in Sonoma for a day. After that, I went to the Kentucky Derby, which was my first time ever going. And you guys, I had such an amazing time. So much fun. We created awesome content. So if you missed it, you can also go to my Instagram where you can see all the pictures. But then also there are some videos in my on my page. You know, y'all know how TikTok is. It's not sharing my videos. So if you're interested, just check it out, okay? But today is Tasting Thursday. It's been a minute. We're going to be interviewing Magnolia on Instagram at 7 o'clock. That's what we do every Thursday. We're right here. We taste wine and then we head over to Instagram where we will interview our special guest. Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead, open this bottle of wine. This is a wine that actually was featured to do a commercial for a podcast that features this lovely wine right here. Now, this is a very accessible wine. It says $11.99, so it's easily accessible. We're going to actually taste it. For this podcast, all I was doing was just talking about Chardonnay, not this wine in particular. So what we're going to do is we're going to taste this wine together and we'll assess if we like this wine or not. So if you're down to taste some wine, let me see a couple wine emojis in the chat. What's going on, Brilliant Mistake Wines? But yeah, we're going to taste this wine together. So without further ado, I know you guys hate when I take forever to get started. So let's go ahead and get into this tasting, okay? So we have 4 steps of tasting: sight, smell, sip, and savor. That is typically how we go about this. This is a tasting sheet that's available. Oh, let me flip my camera around. Wait a second. Wait. Boo. Ha! Okay, so this is a tasting sheet that is available on my website. It is, I think, $1. So go ahead and get this, and then as soon as my tasting journal is available, you guys will know. This is the wine that we are having. So go ahead. What is the producer on this wine bottle? Go ahead and let me know. What is the producer? Who is the producer? If you're having a hard time, it's right there. But who's the producer of this wine? Let me know in the comments below. Everyone coming in, hello, my name is Isis Daniel and I am the Millennial Somm and we're here for Tasting Thursday. All right, every Thursday we come together and we taste wines and then we head over to Instagram at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time and we interview our own wine guests. Today we're going to be interviewing Magnolia, the wine geek. She's absolutely phenomenal, cool chick. She organizes cellars and all that jazz. So if you're interested, please make sure that you stay tuned and follow me over on Instagram at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But this is the wine that we're going to be tasting, Harken. One thing to notice, so whenever you look at your wine bottle, start with what you know, right? So we know this is Harken. We know that this wine has been barrel fermented, and then we know that the variety is Chardonnay. What does it mean if it says barrel fermented? Do you guys know? Let me know in the comments below. What does it mean when it says barrel fermented? Talk to me in the caption below. Can you go subscribe? BNB, I'll check you out. If I like your content, I'll follow. If I don't, you know, it is what it is. But what does barrel fermented mean? If you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and answer it. I'm giving you guys a chance to talk to me. You know, I don't like talking to myself. All right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and say it. So barrel fermented, when you ferment your wine, let's go ahead and break it down. Fermenting your wine, that means that you are actually creating wine, right? So you take a little bit of that grape juice, that must, some yeast, put it together. The yeast will eat away at the sugars within the juice, and it turns that juice, that must, into alcohol. Now, that's just fermentation. When you see barrel fermentation, you know that this process happened in barrels. Why would they do that? You will do that because there are certain characteristics that you want from the barrel. Now, if you guys want to start throwing out some flavors and aromas that typically are connected to barrel aging or fermentation, y'all talk to me. If you don't know, put a 1 in the chat. If you do know, let me see some flavors and aromas. And you can also guess, you guys. You don't have to know all the answers. If it's wrong, I'll tell you. If it's right, I'll tell you. This is a safe environment to learn about wine. Sat in a barrel to ferment and let sugar. Yes, to ferment the sugar. I got you. All right, so oak, but what does oak taste like? There you go. Idris, absolutely. Wood flavors, oak, vanilla, sometimes, yes, nutty characteristics. Typically, nuts will come from like some type of deliberate oxidation. However, using oak can be a way for deliberate oxidation because the oak has small pores that allows oxygen in over time and will oxidize your wine and mature it. Vanilla, absolutely. So these are some flavors. I actually have, this is going to be in my tasting journal. So some aromas and flavors that come from oak. In American oak, you'll get coconut, vanilla, dill, roasted coffee, toast. In French oak, you'll get vanilla, brown baking spices like nutmeg, clove, allspice, cedar, smoke, chocolate, ginger. But then also in European oak, you'll get vanilla, butterscotch, sweet spice, and herbal characteristics. So we haven't had this wine yet, but just off the strength alone, we know that this wine is made in California, harvested in 2020, which we know had a lot of fires that year in California, right? So we're going to taste for a little smoke tank. We're going to see if we get that. I doubt that they would ever release a wine that has any of those characteristics, but something to pay attention to because of when this wine was made. Then we see that it's barrel fermented. We don't know which kind of oak it is, but we can possibly anticipate maybe some baking spices, maybe some vanilla, some of the typical aromas and flavors that come directly from oak aging. If I've lost you, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if we're on the same page. Put a 2 if you're confused. Let me know what your questions are as we go. These tastings are for you. It's not just for me to just talk. It's so that you can learn something new. So let me know how I can help you focus. Okay? So we got a 1. We're on the same page. I'm going to keep on going. Now, I've already told you guys, what is the first step of tasting? What is the first step of tasting? Put it in the chat below so I know I'm not tasting by myself. What is the first step? Numero uno. First step of tasting. Let me know. What is it? It's right there. Sight. Boom. All right. So whenever you are tasting your wine, we do not look at our wines up. We actually look down. I will repeat it as many times as I need to repeat it for every tasting because I'm tired. I don't want y'all going to these live tastings out in the real world and looking at your wine looking crazy because people are judging you and there's no reason for them to judge you. Okay. So we're going to look down at our wine glass. You want natural light and you want to try to have no conflicting colors all around. So a white piece of paper with black writing is awesome. Okay. So you're going to place that down. You're going to assess the color. The typical colors I will go with: yellow, gold, amber. Now you can possibly add straw and other stuff, but that's what we're going to go with. Yellow, gold, amber. Now this one is actually giving me a little more yellow hues with a slight, like a yellowish green hue, believe it or not, which is not typical of a Chardonnay. Chardonnays typically have like kind of a gold color, gold hue to it. But this one is more in that yellow green. And I'm even going to say more of like a pale, well, no, let's say medium. I will say a medium yellow green color. So go ahead, write that down. So a medium yellowish green. All right. So now that we've looked at this wine, we're kind of trying to see the color can also tell us what variety is it depending on the color. How rich is this color? Has there been any type of aging in this wine or anything like that? That's why we look at the wine to kind of give us a heads up of what to expect when we experience it. Make me want to start selling again. Selling what? What you trying to sell? You trying to sell some wine? All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and go to our next step. The next step is smell. So when we smell, this is my nice little breakdown, okay? So when we smell, we don't swirl. We want to just go ahead and take a sniff, try to list as many aromas as you can, and then swirl and repeat the entire process of swirl, smell, and try to list. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and knock it out. Let's see what we get on your nose. And if you have your own wine, let me know what aromas you're getting on the nose as well. Woo! Y'all. So we got vanilla. I mean, that vanilla just jumped right off out the glass. I want to say pineapple. What else? Really get deep in there and deeply inhale. Don't be cute. Don't be cute. Oh, man, it's like nothing but vanilla and pineapple to me. I'm not even going to hold you. Getting a little bit of butter. And sometimes I will close my eyes and just kind of focus on my attention right here. So vanilla, pineapple, butter, maybe even a little yeast, kind of a yeasty characteristic. So there's probably been some type of lees stirring or contact in this wine, lees stirring or aging. And I also like when I say something fresh, like, do I want to say apple? I'm just going to write apple, like yellow apple here, and see if I get that on the palate, okay? All right, I'd mess around and get it up my nose. Girl, it shouldn't be that much poured in. It should be a little bit. Don't over pour your glass, child. Because the reason why we pour the wine that we do, I try not to do anything more than 9 ounces. 9 ounces will probably be up here. But the reason why we do that is because we still want enough space in the glass to be able to swirl without actually making a mess, okay? Another reason is that you want to have a little bit of space. So when you're smelling it, it really does kind of come up the glass. That's why with certain wines, you want to have a kind of narrower opening to the glass so that it focuses those aromas. Now, when you're dealing with red wines or full body white wines, so I'm not entirely sure I have to taste this one to really assess if this would be considered one of the full body white wines. But the reason why you want to have a wider opening is because you want more oxygen contact to the wine to develop the flavors and aromas, those secondary flavors and aromas. But with this wine, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. We get a lot of secondary characteristics. That's anything that comes outside of the grape, any flavors and aromas. So when we're talking about oak, yeast, malolactic fermentation, different external winemaker choices that will affect the overall experience of the wine is why we want oxygen contact. Okay? Let me know if I lost you. What is the origin? So this wine is a 2020 California Barrel Fermented Chardonnay. I'm trying to see where exactly in Chardonnay it's from. I didn't pull any information. I just kind of just got it. Let me see. We created Harken Chardonnay because we missed the rich oaky taste of Chardonnay gone by. At some point, someone decided that those great toasty notes and buttery finishes went out of style. We think that's crazy, so we brought it back. So this is supposed to be one of those big California oaky buttery Chardonnays. I know a lot of people are not crazy about this style, but I'm interested to see how they decided to execute this particular style. All right, so let's go ahead. I said vanilla on the nose, vanilla, pineapple, butter, yeast, and yellow apple. Let's go ahead and move on to my favorite step of tasting, which is the sip breakdown, okay? So what's gonna happen in the sip breakdown? We are going to list as many flavors and aromas as we can, assess the sweetness level, acidity level, tannin, alcohol, and body. And here we have a couple, a guideline of everything you need to know. And if there are any additional notes, I'm able to write it down right over here, okay? So let's go ahead and take a sip. I usually take a smell. So yeah, definitely yellow apple, pineapple, butter, and vanilla. For sure. And that yeast, I'm still getting that on the nose. All right, let's taste. All right. All right. Y'all bear with me. We're going through the whole experience. All right. So I still am getting that vanilla butter. I'm still getting pineapple. And honestly, that yellow apple I got on the forefront of tasting before pineapple, but that's just where I'm tasting right now. So I'm going to go ahead and write that yellow apple because it still is there. The body of this wine is definitely more in the medium range to me. Not a full-bodied white wine. The sweetness level on this is definitely dry. Acidity, I got a nice rush of acidity. So I want to say that this might be medium plus, but let me just assess it again. I'm going to leave my wine right down here and then see how uncomfortable I get. If I get super uncomfortable from the acidity, I'll know that it's high. But if I need another check, I'll actually swallow and feel if I get a rush of moisture in my mouth. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and write medium acidity. Not overly obnoxious. Tannin. Do we talk about tannin when we talk about white wines? Is that something that happens? Y'all talk to me and you let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to assess tannin with my upper lip. But you tell me. Put 1 in the chat if we do check for tannin in white wines. Put 2 in the chat if we do not. Okay? So 1 is do. 2 is do not. Do we typically assess tannin in white wine? So we have 1. Anyone else? We have 1, another 2 coming in the chat. Y'all keep going. I'm going to assess for it, see what happens. So all the folks who put a 2 in the chat, y'all tell me why you put 2. For 1, people are saying yes. Honestly, write an explanation whether you put 1 or 2. If you put 1, put a 1 in dash explanation. If you put a 2 dash explanation. Let me know why you think we do or do not test for tannin in white wines, typically. And I have to say typically. All wines you can. Technically, that is true, but do we typically pay attention? Is that something that you are encouraged to examine with white wines? 1 is do, 2 is don't. Explain why. Has to do with the skin of the grapes. No, because reds have more tannins. Okay. I thought tannins was mainly in red wine. All right. Oh, girl, I know what you meant. You don't have to correct yourself. You heard me read it correctly. 1, maybe because the grapes don't have, aren't fermented long enough. Okay. I'm going to give y'all one more person to give me an explanation on why they said yes or no. One more. And for anyone who's just tuning in, this is the wine that we are tasting. Barrel Fermented Chardonnay, Harken 2020 from California. I don't even know. I read it in a magazine somewhere. Don't ferment. All right. So this is what the answer is. So get your pen and paper. But the answer is no. We don't typically have to check for tannin in white wines because tannins typically, for the most part, come from the skin, stems, and seeds of grapes. So if there is no skin contact, which is where we get that color from when we're talking about red wines and rosés and even orange wines, if there's no skin contact, the chances of us having any tannin are slim to none. Now, there are some external choices that you can make outside of the grape that might add tannin, like barrel aging. There's a chance that you might get a little bit of tannin from the barrel, but for the most part, you're still not going to get it. So for white wines, you don't have to check for it, but if you want to just be careful, especially if you're going through this whole journey of testing yourself and learning more about wine, I think that it might be worth checking to see if it does have some tannin in this white wine. But only if you're blind tasting and you want to know if it's a Chardonnay or if it's something has been treated in oak or anything like that. But outside of that, if you're just drinking a white wine and with your friends and y'all are chilling, no, you don't have to check for tannin. There's no skin contact, so the chance is going to have tannin slim to none. All right. So we've already talked about sweetness level, acidity. For tannin, I'm going to put low rather than just saying none. Now, alcohol. We talk about this all the time. I know I went MIA last week because I was busy. Okay, I had to travel a lot. We've been a lot. And the next week I'm going to Chicago. So if you're from Chicago, let me know in the comments because I will be at Mayfest. So let me know if y'all want to pull up. But when we talk about body, right, of your wine, right? There are two elements that are directly connected to the body of the wine. That is the sugar level, sweetness level, which you've already said is dry. So this wine most likely has less than 17% grams per liter in this wine. But then also, and I hope I'm saying that right, because I feel like that's actually the sparkling wine. Don't quote me. I got to check that. I feel like I'm talking about sparkling wine with that 17%. I'm pretty sure that the sugar level in still wines are much lower than that. But anyway, we assess sweetness level and alcohol to assess the body. Y'all got questions? Wait 1 second. Question about Chardonnay specifically. What gives that buttery mouthfeel? So if you are tasting butter, right? Butter cream cheese, that is malolactic fermentation, right? Lactic acid that's added to the wine to lower the acidity of the wine. And because of lactic acid, it typically, just like found in milk, has flavors of butter cream cheese. Now that buttery mouthfeel you're getting, it could be the mallow, but it's most likely lees aging or stirring. Now, what are lees? What are lees? L-E-E-S. What are lees? Let me know in the comments below. What are lees? I tried a European Chardonnay recently that didn't have that buttery feel. Yep. So if you've had a wine from Chablis, which is probably a region that you had this Chardonnay from, or there are a couple other places that you can get Chardonnay that has no malolactic fermentation or lees aging or anything like that. So, I mean, I'm just saying if that is an experience you had, that means that there was no mallow. Or there also could be that there was no lees or stirring or anything like that. But lees are dead yeast found in the wine after the fermentation process. So as we talked about earlier when we were saying this wine was barrel aged, again, how do you make wine? You have the must, the grape juice, which means must, right? And you add some yeast to it. The yeast eats away at the sugars. After it's done eating away at the sugar, it dies. It just starts to fall to the bottom of the barrel or the tank, wherever it is, or sometimes it might float to the top depending. But what can you do to add texture, richness, kind of that brioche bread, yeasty kind of characteristic smells and aromas? You can either stir through bâtonnage, right? I'm pretty sure bâtonnage is the right word. But you can stir your lees up in the wine, or you can just age it over an extended amount of time. Just leave it in there, and it will cause your wine to have that buttery, creamy, great textured wine. That's also something, okay? Cool. So let's go ahead and get back to this. So because the wine is dry and the body is medium, I have to double check. But let's see how this wine makes me feel. Because if the wine is dry, meaning it has low to no residual sugar, and also the body is medium, I can actually infer without feeling for it that this wine is most likely a medium alcohol wine. In the comments below, put a 1 if you don't know, or put the answer. What is the range of medium alcohol wines? This is a question I ask all the time. So y'all let me know. what is the medium range of alcohol? And I'm going to, while y'all answer that, put a 1 if you don't know, put an answer if you think you know or you know for sure. But while you taste, I'm going to try to feel for it. Mm-hmm. So we have 12 to 13. 11 to 13, 11 to 12, 11 to 13. Okay, so the correct answer is 11 to 13.9. Y'all forgot that 0.9. So 11 to 13.9 is the range of medium alcohol. For low is 10.9 and below. For high is 14 and above. Okay? So you guys were super, super close. I'm actually very proud of you guys. I know I've been kind of chilling while I was reading the answers, but this is probably the first time I asked this question and you guys were all kind of majority within the correct range. So congratulations. I'm really proud of you guys. Yeah. So I accidentally cheated and I saw the right answer. I was going to say that the alcohol in this wine was medium, but the actual alcohol in this wine is 14.5. So what is this? Is this one low, medium, or high? Low, medium, or high? Let me know. This wine is 14.5. We just said that all wines that are going to be medium are 11 to 13.9. And so 14.5 is high, high, high. Excellent. So proud of y'all. Now, what does that mean about the body? The body, I think I can actually be willing to say medium plus. I really don't feel like this wine is full bodied, but I will rock with, I'll rock with a medium plus. I can do that. I could do that. High, it's super high. For a white wine, this is super high, but in Chardonnays, you can find a couple high alcohol wines, all that jazz. Okay, so then right now, for anyone who's just now tuning in or not sure, this is the wine that we're tasting, the 2020 California Harken Barrel Fermented Chardonnay. Boom. This wine is medium, has the color of medium yellowish green color, hue tint. On the nose, we're getting vanilla, pineapple, butter, yeast, yellow apple, and pretty much the same on the palate. Really having that yellow apple, vanilla, and butter on the forefront. And then, of course, the pineapple was there. Sweetness level, dry. Acidity, medium. Tannin, low. Alcohol, high. Body, medium plus. And then for my last step, I absolutely love, I think it's probably the most important step of tasting is the savor portion. It might come last, but it's the most important. As you continue to taste, you have to ask yourself 2 questions. What do I like about it? What don't I like about it? The reason why I have to make a whole moment of telling you to pay attention to this question is because how do you know you like this wine? And will you go forward judging every Chardonnay, like comparing it to this wine? Are you moving forward and you go to a somm? Are you not able to tell your sommelier or your wine professional, bartender, what it is that you like? You have to pay attention to the details so that you can find a wine that is up your alley or a wine that is nothing like this one. Okay? So, what do I like about this wine? I think that it had great intensity. Cool. I really don't mind buttery Chardonnays. I think I love all wines, and so there's always a time and a place for this. This is definitely a great food wine, any type of buttery dish that you have. It also has enough acidity that I think you can, have some shellfish with this wine. I think that will be a great pairing. What don't I like about it? It just is your typical Chardonnay. It's super intense for no reason. I think that this California Chardonnay is not as bad as butter. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. That one is just way not balanced enough for me. but still a style within itself. If you like that wine better, I do think that you would like this wine. Again, this one is $11.99 retail. So I think that it's affordable, easily accessible, and great as summertime is coming and you're going to eat more seafood dishes, specifically shellfish dishes. I think that this will be great. But I don't like that it's not super balanced. I think that it's cool. It's just not special. I think that's what my problem is. It's just, your typical Chardonnay, which they said on the back of the bottle that they feel like it's out of date. People think so. They created it because they still stand by it. So if this is a experience that you actually like, then this is the wine for you. For me, I can definitely drink it. I'm cool. But if you love a wine like this, if you love buttery oak wine, Chardonnay, this is the one for you. I'm sorry, I just have to say I love your earrings. Oh, thank you. Y'all know I gotta start wiping my teeth. It started to get dingy. I'm sorry, y'all. How would you enhance the wine to ease the palate if you don't care about it? Food. I think food is the best option to give anyone. Also, you can chill it more than you're supposed to as well. Chilling a wine really does close it up, and just like you're drinking any other whiskey or anything like that, keeping it super cool can help the smoothness of the wine. However, I think that having a food pairing will be a better option. Get some popcorn, something salty with this wine will be great. Something like that I think will elevate the experience of this wine for sure. Girl, was just thinking your teeth look so white. Really? I feel like I need to whiten them. I was looking at my pictures from the Derby and I was like, ooh, need to whiten those teeth up, child. You drink all this wine and coffee, catch up to you, okay? Do y'all have any other questions before we kind of move on into our next phase of our tasting? Question I used to love answer as a seller is buy more and store it for the in-laws. That works too. I don't know. I have a lot of wine up in this house. Actually, it's time for me to reorganize again. Hate it. So I'm going to be doing that probably this weekend because I have to travel to Chicago next week. So yeah. So you guys, next week I will be recording all my Suzanne videos again. I've been working on some skits, writing them out and writing down the script and all of that. But one of the main reasons why I've kind of postponed the videos is because I have been trying to find wigs. Yes. So I just bought a new wig for Chardonnay. Super excited about it. And then you guys talked to me about a new character. So a couple months, like a month or so ago, I was on live and we were talking about what we wanted to do for our next personality. Okay? And you guys came up with a cool person named Sarah. Not Sarah, but Sarah. Which you guys know, Sarah, if you don't know, I'll tell you. Sarah is a variety, just like we were drinking Chardonnay, right? We are going to be naming another personality rather than Chardonnay, because we already have that girl. We are naming the new one Sarah. And you guys said you wanted her to have a red wig. And you said you wanted bangs, but I couldn't find wigs that I like with bangs. So this is her. This is her. She's going to be a bartender. So if we have any bartenders in the house, let me know. But that's her. Personally, what have I been missing? Happy I'm here though. We have tastings every week. Mondays and Thursdays. Next Thursday we will not because I will be traveling, but we will have our tasting on Monday. Gonna be spicy. I like her already. Honestly, she is gonna be spicy. She's gonna be a handful. She's gonna be a handful. But I'm still excited to implement her in. Before when I first got into wine, I was in hospitality. I was a server and a bartender. I have to say that kind of like weird because I was not like a real bartender. I will never disrespect other bartenders and call myself one. I just don't feel like that's appropriate. But anywho, I started in this industry as a server bartender. And, you know, I think there's just a lot of questions. People assume that we know a lot about wine. And the truth is, we don't. I didn't know anything about wine until I started taking classes. And once I took classes, I realized how much I didn't know. And so I want to use my platform to not only just educate you guys, the common, consumer about wine, but I think I need to talk to the people who have to use this information every day. And we think we know stuff, and we don't know nothing about wine. It's just like, you know, when you growing up and you're like, you don't know nothing about that. Like when your parents say that to you and you think you know, and then as you get older, you be like, I really didn't know anything. That's servers, bartenders with wine. You think you do, but you don't. You know how to open it, you know how to present it, you know how to do all the right motions, but how much conversation can you have about the wine? Not much. So we are going to have some content about that with Sarah. And then of course, y'all know Suzanne, Chardonnay. We about to have a whole moment. So y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all have any other questions for me? So for everyone here, we're getting ready to head over to Instagram to interview Magnolia. She is a seller organizer. If that's something that you think you might want to do, or if you want to just get to know someone who's in the industry. I mean, her story is absolutely phenomenal. Her story is pretty cool and divine. Like, you know, there's some people you talk to and you're just like, dang, God had his hand all up on your life, because the things that happened to her and with her and how she got into wine, they're very specific things that you don't hear every day. Like, you were meant to be here is kind of what her story is. So if y'all are ready to talk to Magnolia, 7 o'clock Instagram live, that's where we're going to be in a little over a half an hour. Yeah, I'm happy that you guys had a good time. Now, TikTok, usually I have like a sign up button, but it's not working. So please sign up to my mailing list so that you can know everything that's going on. Top of June, that's when everything is going to start up again. Millennial Points, I was trying to do in May, but didn't work out. So in June, Millennial Points will be starting back up. All my Suzanne videos will be starting back up. There's a lot of content that's going to be happening officially June 1st. So you guys stay connected to that. I'm so nosy, but is that O'Haran, I think is what you were trying to say, or Orion, I think it's called, Swift Machete in the back? No, but I love that wine. I don't have the machete with me, but I do love that wine. Oh, whose birthday's next week? So next Monday, this coming Monday, we are making cocktails. Sign up to my mailing list, because I'm going to put in this weekend, I'm going to tell you guys in my mailing list, and if I'm able to create something online, I will. But if you're on my mailing list or you go to my website, I'm going to put all the instructions and ingredients there. But on Monday, we're going to be making this cocktail together. So you do want to make sure that you are a part and signed up to my mailing list so that you have everything. Thank you so much, Honey Spice, for telling me about your birthday. Because we're getting ready to have that happen, okay? In fact, I think that the button for that is still up on on TikTok. So click the events button and sign up. Yes, thank you, Honey Spice. Sign up, but I will be updating with the ingredients probably tomorrow so that you guys can have all weekend to purchase everything and be ready on Monday. Where did you get your wine? I got my certifications from WSET, Wine Spirit Education Trust. It's based out of London, but I went to school here in DC at Capital Wine School. Okay. Y'all have any other questions? I'm y'all's for right now. Honestly, I'm probably gonna get off of here at 45 so I can gather my notes for the interview, but I'm y'all's for right now. So you have any other questions? So I got news. So before I went to the Derby. I was in California. I participated with the OG Donald Pat's. I know you guys saw some of the content of how we made this wine, but the actual auction was right before the Derby. And I went out there, we talked it up, sold it, and you guys, we, Donald Pat's and I, broke a record. This is the highest we created, blended. The Isis Cuvée is the highest sold white wine sold at that auction. Yeah, I'm impressed. Highest sold white wine. We are over here breaking records, changing lives, doing what we gotta do. And then guess who bought it? The woman who came down and bought it happens to be the mentor of my mentor, the very woman who reached out to me when she didn't have to and said, hey, sounds like you like wine. You should take a class or two and see if you're interested. And anytime I ever have questions, I'm able to reach out to her, Maya Parrish. Her mentor, who didn't know me, went up there and she was just talking to me. And then she asked me, well, I'm from Colorado. Do you know Maya Parrish? And I was like, that's my mentor. Oh my God. And then they went out and bought the wine and won. So for me, I can't wait to go to Colorado. We're going to do a in-person tasting when we can. But it's just an absolute phenomenal moment in my career, because I don't know about any other, outside of people who actually own wine labels, I don't know about anyone who has like their wine with their name on it, just cause, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool. It's cool for me, and I'm happy and proud of us for, breaking records. It's just an honor. Just an honor. Thank y'all for the love. Honestly, I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. So happy. Yep. So next up, we go to Chicago next week for Mayfest. So if you guys are ever in Chicago next weekend, meet up with me. Come pull up to Mayfest, but specifically visit the La Crema pop-up experience, because I will be there. Come meet the Millennial Sound. Pull up. I need a new mentor. You need a new mentor? You can DM me. If I got time, it's the same thing, I talked to my little brother about. When you want a mentor, most times we're really busy. Just make sure that you keep reaching out, keep checking in, because, we be busy. But if you need help maneuvering through this industry, I would love to help in any way that I can. So DM me. Let's figure out, we can set up a call. All right. We need more people in this industry, especially, minorities, no matter if you are part of the LGBTQ community, no matter if you are black, white, purple, or blue, however you identify, we need more diversity within this industry. So I'm willing to help anyone I can. Because my dissertation. Okay. Come back when you're ready. It takes a lot. Studying for wine is not for the faint of heart. Like this is, it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of information, and it's information that's constantly changing. So if you don't have the bandwidth for it, don't do it. But if you got the hustle, I remember not Maya Parrish, but a different mentor of mine. She told me, she was like, if you want to be in this industry, you got to hustle. You got to work for it. There is no other way to succeed. And that's why I hustle and work so hard, is because I've already been told this is not just like any other career that you can just apply for a job and work your way up. No. What do you want to do? How do you want to be involved in this industry? You have to ask yourself that question. And for me, I've been creating my own lane in this industry. Don't nobody look like me. Even the black people in this industry don't look like me. Okay, like I be black. I got no problems. How I show up is very much organically and authentically me. And no matter if you black, white, purple, or blue, most people don't have that opportunity to be their authentic selves within this industry. So, I believe that anything is possible. Whatever you put energy in, you will receive back. And so I decided, especially when the pandemic began, I was like, I'm going to focus on on my wine journey. I know the things that I want, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to work towards it. And I'm going to be real with you guys. The traveling and being the spokesperson, speaking at conferences, being hired to do commercials and all this other stuff. I didn't know that this stuff was going to happen. I kind of had a vision, and this is definitely aligning with the vision I had for myself. But these intricate details and opportunities that present themselves, that's nothing but fruits of my labor, not things that I specifically asked for and wanted. So, I know I'm talking a lot, I'm saying a lot, but the point is, and for whoever's listening, I'm telling you, go out there and get it. Don't wait for other people's validation. Don't wait for someone to tell you to go, unless you, depending on, your faith base and whatever else, you want to consult God and make sure that you're moving in the right direction. Absolutely. I support that. But I also support, you got to, faith without works is dead. You got to hustle, baby. You got to make it happen. And you have to be patient, because just because you put in the effort doesn't mean that you're going to see an immediate response. I've been in this industry 3 years. 2 years, I really focused and went hard. In those 3 years, and specifically after 2 years of going hard, I'm now starting to live the existence that I prayed and wanted for myself. This isn't something that just happened. It might be an overnight success to some people, because not everyone follows you from the jump. But when I first started doing my social media thing, I was on Instagram. I had 30 likes, and the 30 likes came from friends and family. Okay. No wineries were sending me wines. No wineries were sending me wines and paying me to feature them. I went out and I bought my own wine, and I made my own reviews, and I picked every Thursday to stay consistent, and I did it all the time. And I was learning. I was actively in school studying about wine. I put the investment in myself and worked hard. And then after 3 years of doing that, I am now reaping the benefits of that while still planting seeds for my future. Y'all feel me? Are y'all there? Y'all hearing what I'm saying? You want to be in wine, you can do it. You want to be in wine, there's a certification that fits the need that you want to fill. But I'm telling you right now, I don't care if you want to teach wine, be a distributor, run a winery, own a custom crush facility, be a farmer, be an influencer, content creator, be an actual sommelier in an actual fine dining restaurant, or a som of the people through social media like me. It does not matter. You can do whatever you want in this industry. The only way you're going to succeed in it is if you do it. You got to go full throttle. You're going to get tired. You're going to need to take breaks. And then after that break, you have to get back up and go back at it and try to be as consistent as possible. I'm giving you the tea. I'm giving you the tea. In this video, if you ever need to rewatch it, it will be available on YouTube, hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to have my assistant put it up. But I'm trying to get y'all hip to game. I'm trying to get you, fully aware of all that it takes, because this is not for the faint of heart. I'm creating a lane that does not exist for a little brown girl like me. What I'm doing is not something that has been done before. I am literally moving differently in this industry that's already reluctant to embrace something fresh and new. So whatever it is that you want to do, whatever speaks to you, whatever inspires you, bring it. I am a singer. I am a writer. I am an actress. I am a creative. And these are the things that energize me. I happen to love wine and wine knowledge. So what am I doing? I'm bringing who I am at my core, plus who I am today and the interests that I have. And I'm finding a way to bring them together and mold them together. And because of that, I've now been able to open a door that did not exist for myself and for every person who comes behind me. What can you bring to the table organically? And I'm not asking that what are you going to bring to the table like stupid podcast guys who are trying to diminish your value. I'm actually telling you that you have value and you need to figure out for yourself what energizes you and what makes you want to show up in the wine space or whatever other space industry that you're in. So thank y'all for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, it's been real. We're about to head over to Instagram in a moment to interview the homie Magnolia. And this is a great opportunity for you guys to hear how someone else entered into this industry in their own unique way. I want you guys to witness that, ask questions, get some wine, use the restroom, get a snack, whatever you need to do. And tune in at 7 o'clock on Instagram Live. I will be live at 7. But she'll probably come on around 7:05. But I'm going to talk to you and all that stuff, okay? Quick shout out of Chicago visit 2 weeks ago. Italian, okay. All right, shout out. I'll be in Chicago next week. So if you're in Chicago, let me know because I will definitely be there. All right. Y'all have any other questions for me? Speak now, forever hold yo. Click, click. Peace. Y'all got a question? Give y'all a moment. I got like a good 5 minutes before I need to get off here and reset. Get some, get my, my notes and everything out. Y'all have any other questions? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Where y'all at? Hello, it's me. I'm in my workspace, just trying to see if you wanna be my friend. I don't know. I'm struggling. See, okay. I'm about to get off of here. Y'all not saying nothing else. I love you guys. Head on over to Instagram and I will be right there ready for you guys, okay? Replay will be available tomorrow. Love you.